The year is 1888. The place, Whitechapel. A district gripped by fear and desperation, where the gaslights flicker like fading hope and danger lurks in the thick, choking fog. It's here, among the narrow alleys and crowded tenements, that monster stalks his prey.
They call him Jack the Ripper, a name that sends a chill down the spine, even now. But who was he? A madman driven by bloodlust? A figure of vengeance? Or something else entirely? An enigma that would slip through history's fingers, leaving only terror in his wake.
The Ripper's reign was brief but brutal. 5 murders in the span of just a few months, each victim with their own story. A life cut short and a death shrouded in mystery. The killings, so gruesome, seemed almost ritualistic. But what was the message, and who was sending it?
Tonight we dive into the darkness to search for answers. We retrace the Ripper's footsteps, exploring the lives of the victims, the suspects, and a desperate hunt by London's finest to catch a killer who seemed to vanish like a phantom.
So pour yourself a drink, settle in your favorite chair, put your pants on, and light the lamps. It's time to dive into the chilling tale that echoes through the annals.
The annals.
Where did you get this? Annals? All right. The chilling tale that echoes through the annals of crime lore. I can't.
You script wrote it.
Let's go. Let's freaking go. All right. Welcome back to the Historical Plunders Podcast.
Yay!
With us, our lovely 2-guy friendship. We've been friends since little kids.
Sadly.
And I'm a nerd, and Nate's a history buff.
I'm a nerd.
And I'm Jake.
I'm Nate.
We talk about history as we drink beer in Nate's basement.
It's so much fun.
Today we're talking about Jack the Ripper.
Ripper with an I.
Ripper with an I, even though it seemed like he liked to play GTA before GTA came out.
He was playing Victorian GTA.
Because he was killing prostitutes, which basically is what you do in GTA.
So basically we were all Jack the Ripper, but with guns.
I never did that. And
I guess baseball bats too. He used that a lot.
So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go over the background and the setting. Specifically, the area is Whitechapel.
Not the band.
And it sounds nice. Whitechapel sounds like a decent place. It's not a decent place. It's a bad place, especially at that time.
Yeah.
We'll talk about how the media handled the whole Jack the Ripper phenomenon, which didn't go super well.
No.
I would say it was like before they really knew how to handle
something so
bad
crazy
stuff. Anyways, then we'll go through our fun segment of what's happening in the world at that time. And we're going to close out with specifically the murders that happened.
There's a trivia section.
And then there's trivia.
So we're not going to close out with the murders. We're going to talk about the murders. We're going to do a trivia section. And we're going to finish out with the suspects and theories. There are a lot of... I mean, Jack the Ripper was never caught, so...
I feel like you're talking a lot.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm talking a lot.
Yeah, shut up.
I'm just used to laying out the setting of the episode. This is really Nate's episode.
I really
Nate,
want to do this
dude,
for Halloween.
Dude, yeah, we came to your house tonight for dinner, and your whole house is decorated really nice.
Yes, we love Halloween.
I know. I think you and Becca really like it, seems like.
She's my witch.
I know. You've said that a couple times.
In more than one way.
You guys do the candle wax stuff?
No, I just wear a pointy hat.
You wear the pointy hat?
Yeah.
So what is she...
Don't worry about it. But yes, we're going to talk about Jack the Ripper today.
Rapper, right?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
He's laying down those lines,
Oh, I want to see this.
Whitechapel, making me want to go back to the chapel.
You're so good.
I don't know. There's not a lot with chapel.
You should stick to your sad, depressing songs. Not rap.
Your favorite. I wrote a sad song after a breakup in high school, and...
We have talked about it several times.
Have we talked about it on the show?
Yes.
Okay. Oops. Well... You're going to hear about it again.
One day.
I was crying into the mic.
One day, fans, we might hear it. We were not going to hear it.
How did it even go? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
You know it's wrong until it hurts or something. God, how did I sing it? It sounds so bad.
It was the love of his life.
All right, let's get to the background and the setting of Whitechapel. You may ask yourself, what is Whitechapel? Where
It's
is
a
it?
neighborhood. Like
Paper
Mr.
flipping.
Like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Hey.
No, Whitechapel was a densely populated area in where freaking London. Those beans for breakfast bitches.
Beans for breakfast bitches, you know, they just can't handle themselves. Overcrowded.
Yeah, so basically it was the
Too
slums.
many beans in one pot.
It was the slums.
Yes, it was the slums. It
It's a
sounds so
shithole.
nice, though.
It was a
It's
shithole.
like Whitechapel. Oh, it sounds very pure and holy. And
Why?
no,
Why?
it
Because
was
it says white.
white and chapel.
You know what? It does
Dumbass.
sound. It does sound like.
It sounds like such a nice place, but it was literally just
it's like West Side Rockford. It's like
yeah,
you,
but
you
worse
can call it what you
somehow.
want, but you don't want to go
Somehow
out there at
worse.
night. Yeah. No, it was really it was kind of a storm of things too, right? At the time, Britain was not doing well as an economy too, right? And
Well, yeah, because everyone decided to leave them.
and right. Eventually, things were catching up to them.
You know,
I would say.
they weren't making all their money from all their countries that they took over.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got a little high after Napoleon. They took out Napoleon, but that doesn't last forever.
No, because for some reason he kept coming back.
And then, like, America started really messing with their economy too, which is cool. Go America!
America. So what you're saying is it's our fault that
Tons of
Jack the
liberty.
Ripper happened?
Yeah. So I think we're talking about making shirts. So just so you guys know, keep an eye out for that.
Buy our t-shirts.
Buy our t-shirts. We're gonna make some tons of Liberty shirts because I think that's like the coolest thing we've said in the show so far.
Of all the things. No, I think my favorite quote was from the Pirates episode.
Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, when we were talking about Anne Bonny, and I was like, man, that dude's got some nice tits.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah,
I think
that's like my favorite part.
People at my work, I remember, were like, "Yeah, I don't know if you should share the show with everyone."
You probably shouldn't hang out with that guy anymore. He's a
I think
weirdo.
someone said that. Yeah.
Probably.
No, they didn't say that. They said you guys probably shouldn't share your show with management.
That's probably smart.
They were probably right. Yeah.
But yeah, so Whitechapel, densely populated. They were having issues with cholera, tuberculosis. I mean, it was just dirty.
So yeah,
Poor people.
One of the things that was going on, they had lodging houses.
So to build on that, there's also things called DOS houses, which were nightly accommodations, which really sucked. So all of them really couldn't afford to live in their own home and stuff, and so they'd go out, scrounge for money all day long, work shitty jobs and stuff like that.
Be a prostitute.
Prostitutes. But it was cheap nightly accommodations. There was shared beds. There was times where you could sit on a bench, but you couldn't sleep for like a penny. So you could,
Yeah, man. It's just like, damn.
yeah. And then there was one where it was a bench, but with a rope in front of it. And you paid like 3 cents and you got to sleep as long as you were leaning on the rope.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
They're thinking that's where the term hangover came from.
yeah, really.
Because most of the time they were drunk. Because
Yeah, that's the thing is like alcoholism was a huge thing.
basically every single one of the victims was an alcoholic.
Yeah, it's like a 40-year-old drunk woman, like huge alcohol problem.
And then there was also workhouses, which were basically prison.
Hold on, let it burn through.
I don't know what that is. Okay, so these workhouses, they were basically prisons. I mean, basically, if you went there with your family, they'd separate men, women, children. Mostly the men and women because they didn't want any more poor people being made. They put one guy in charge who was like a warden. And the first victim actually a lot of them lived in these workhouses, but the first victim lived in one that was so bad that the guy in charge would take the food that was for them and take it home. And so these people starved. And they do random jobs like you would in prison and stuff. And one of the main jobs that people would fight over was a bone crusher. So you'd crush up animal bones and then they'd use that for fertilizer. But if you got lucky, they'd find beef bones and stuff that had marrow in it.
Yeah, God's butter.
Or if you got lucky enough, you might had some rotten meat. So they would like fight each other to get these jobs.
It makes me think, like, man, I know things were tough kind of in Britain at the time, but like, damn, that's really rough.
I mean, that they had a place to sleep, they got food, and that was about it.
It's like I can't imagine a city where it's like you're going out during the day, working hard to have a bed at night.
But what sucked is a lot of these, like all these homes, you had to leave. So a lot of them didn't have a whole lot of stuff.
That's what I mean.
You really
like
couldn't.
You don't have a house. You just working to get a place for the night. Like, ugh.
You have the clothes on your back and maybe a bag of extra clothes, maybe. But yeah, it was just kind of a shitty place.
I mean, on that note too, right? Sanitation and clean water was also really bad. There was a lot of tuberculosis and cholera at that time too, right? So yeah, everyone was poor, sick, dirty,
hungry,
and drunk.
And drunk.
Like, it feels like college, you know?
Kinda. But yeah, so the east end of Whitechapel was home to a lot of the laborers, dock workers, and tradespeople. And it was actually big for immigrants, like Jewish refugees. There was a lot of Irish and stuff like that. And, like, they didn't really work, like, real job. Like, I mean, they did real work, but it wasn't like, oh, you're a dockhand, you're going to work for this company every single day. It was, like, sparingly. Like, you might be
trying to get a shift.
Working today. Yeah. You might not work for the rest of the week and stuff like that. So it was hard for them to actually build enough to get their families out of it. And so as a result of that, a lot of it led to crime and prostitution.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
GTA.
So Whitechapel was just known for being just riddled with crime, petty theft, gang violence, and obviously prostitution.
So how dare you? You're trying to say that these people deserved it, Nate?
No, it was just...
You son of a bitch.
The police struggled there.
It's painting a picture of the area, right? I'm being a dick.
You are a dick. But yeah, there's a lot of what ended up being, part of Jack the Ripper's luckiness is there was a lot of narrow alleys, dark streets, and a lot of the times the women would just, the prostitutes would just service their clients on the street.
Right. So
you just go up onto a porch and get out of the main way of the street and do your deed and go. Yeah,
I mean, all of this paints a picture to me like it's a perfect place for a serial killer.
Exactly.
Like, how easy would it be to like I'm sure the dark alleyways, people are sick, people are dying. There's a lot of crime anyways. No, the police probably have a bad reputation and are probably corrupt too, right? Like, I'm surprised there was I wonder sometimes back then it's like, man, there was no like documented serial killers back then, like at the level that we have nowadays. It feels like,
yeah,
like here's like Wisconsin, especially. Wisconsin's got all sorts of serial killers. Isn't that weird?
Because it gets cold there, and
they're like, well, what do you want to do tonight? Kill people? Sure,
sure, I guess.
You betcha.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is crazy to me though that you're right. There wasn't a lot of documented serial killer. But what's funny though is that there very easily could have been because so many people were dying back then.
Right.
Like there is a lot of like doctors and stuff that would like intentionally like poison their people.
Right. Yeah.
And stuff like that is just weird.
There's a difference between like a murder that's committed for personal reasons or to get someone's money or something and like a serial killer. A serial killer does it and it's like there are kills that happen after they try to replicate what happened because it was such a rush for them. They enjoyed it so much.
Do you want to go kill somebody?
I'm not saying... No, I don't want to go kill anyone. That's not what I'm saying.
You don't want to become serial killers? We'll be the podcast killer.
I'm a Christian man. I'm not
kidding. Oh, that's good. I'm proud of you. So, yeah, the police struggle to maintain the order. I mean, yes, there probably were... There's always corrupt cops, it seems like, but...
Are you farting in here?
I've been, yes.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, it stinks.
Oh, I can't sniff anything.
You know better than that.
But, like, basically, like, Jack the Ripper, like, all these murders and stuff. All right. So the Ripper murders actually basically highlighted the limitations of the police because they couldn't really protect, all the vulnerable women, the prostitutes and all that. They were just like, good luck, ladies.
I mean, at a certain point,
Don't die.
You do the best you can, and I think you probably can't stop all that. It's so rampant back then, especially the prostitution.
Yeah. So
a lot of prostitutes.
Lots of prostitutes. So with the,
it's like Diddy's house.
Those weren't prostitutes. Those were children.
Oh, and Oh, gross. Okay.
Yeah.
Ew. I don't want to talk about that.
So the dire conditions and everything basically attracted all the attention for social reformers and stuff like that. Basically, people trying to make poor people's lives better. Notable was Dr. Thomas Bernardo. He founded homes for destitute children. And then William Booth, who actually established the Salvation Army.
Isn't that the guy who shot Lincoln?
No, that's John Wilkes Booth.
Okay.
That's his cousin.
So that's a picture of what
Whitechapel was.
Whitechapel was.
Not the band.
Not
the band is not bad.
I almost said White Castle. Right, and we kind of know what happens
about the same
with the murders.
Cleanliness.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here I go again. No, we're going to go through how the media handled it next, which is probably mostly why we're talking about it today, right?
Yeah. That's one of my theories is that there were a lot of fucked up people in that area, and there might have been multiple people doing these things. And then when the media...
So? You think it's not just one guy?
No, I think when the media got involved... I have a couple different theories, but
well,
I think
when
the media got involved, it kind of I don't really want to say
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're getting into. Right. Yeah, everyone reads about it and they're like, maybe I should go kill someone.
They're like, oh, that's happening. That's kind of cool.
If you're disturbed already.
Because that's the thing is there was so much... I like how they kept just saying mentally ill.
I mean, life was suffering.
Yeah.
Right?
Your life was horrible.
Yeah.
So what else you gonna do? Get drunk and go kill people.
Go to church. Find a good church. Get involved in the community. And dig yourself out.
I don't think they did that back then.
I don't think they did it. They should.
They probably should have. But yeah, so the newspapers at the time, like the tabloids.
I'm going to take you to church, Nate.
Okay.
We're going to go to church.
I'm busy. And so, tabloids, obviously in the movies you see all the, little kids yelling, Jack the Ripper strikes again. Buy it for a nickel.
Right.
And stuff like that. And so, those were the ones that basically blew up the story. They used graphic descriptions of the crime scenes, and they actually had, people drawing what he might look like and stuff like that. You see a lot of silhouettes of, the dark coat and the top hat and the knife and all that.
I mean, iconic imagery, right?
And so, but they were reporting on everything. They used all the the gruesome shit from the murders, and so the public was both holy shit, that's disgusting. But at the same time, they're ooh,
eating it up.
Yeah,
a spooky story. I mean, you like the spooky, right?
Yeah.
If there was a Jack the Ripper around here.
Oh, I'd be watching all them TikTok videos on it. All the conspiracy theories. But, that's the thing is, some of the newspapers even went as far as to publish exaggerated details of the stories just to keep them alive and, trying to keep people interested in it. But, at first they didn't really call it Jack the Ripper until the Dear Boss letter was sent to the Central News Agency. At first, they just kind of wrote it off. They were like, oh, it's just a letter. Someone's trying to be Jack the Ripper. But then he put specific details in it about the murders, and they're like, all right, it might be making some...
Yeah, it's probably him.
Well, then he ended up... one of the victims, he said that they removed the ear. And then next thing you know, the victim had the ear removed, and they're like, okay. Well, they didn't call him Jack the Ripper, but then the letter was signed Jack the Ripper.
Right.
And so that's what they started calling it. But it's at first they just kind of, wrote it off. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's just a psycho trying to be cool.
I think as far as serial killers go, he's got a good taste in names.
It's a cool name.
The name for a serial killer, that's as cool as it gets.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper. Oh, daddy.
It is a cool name. But
better than John Wayne Gacy.
But yeah, so basically that like the letter, he was like boasting about the killings. He was bragging, and everyone's like, like that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, what a whole new world just opened up. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think this also, like the media with the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
Because that got huge.
It did. He kind of took notes from Jack the Ripper, it seems like.
I think with the letters, yeah. And stuff like, I mean,
I think Zodiac did better with letters and all that.
Zodiac was cool.
Well, he also killed.
I mean, he killed people, but it's a cool story.
True crime is weird, man.
That's the thing.
You're like, the guy's so cool, and you're like, but I mean, it's not cool to kill people.
And that's why we're a history podcast, not a true crime podcast, because we get a lot of hate.
Tonight we've done a couple like true crime stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, the newspaper coverage really caused panic. Like, just with crazy headlines and dangerous, like, it was a dangerous killer that could not be stopped. And the press actually criticized the police a lot. They're like, oh my God, why can't you guys catch them? And to an extent, it's like, all right, like, you guys should, like, put more officers around.
It's kind of like, if you guys weren't all pieces of shit, like, we wouldn't have to do
the thing that sucks is,
know?
like, there was so much crime and everything happening in that area anyways.
Yeah. Like,
they were probably busy. And we'll get to it when we start talking about, like, suspects and theories and stuff. Like, there was a very easy way that a theory I heard of him getting away with this stuff. And you could walk right by a police officer. They'd be like, okay, that guy's just doing his stuff. But yeah, so the illustrations everyone used... They start speculating about the suspects, and so they're just like kind of like naming suspects, and people were like, what?
It's like that neighbor that you don't like. Like, I think
Bill did it.
He's doing it. He looked at me the other day, and
he told me he was the killer.
He killed her.
But yeah, so like some of the theories and stuff were, just upper class people getting away with it. Foreigners and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of the newspapers were accepting like letters from people taking on their theories and stuff, which was kind of funny. I think we need to start sending in theories of things to people, to random news agencies.
For fun?
Like, Nessie's real.
I don't think you'd be the only guy doing that.
I love Nessie. Nessie's real.
Nessie's not real.
You're not real. So... But yeah, that's basically what the media did. We're going to move on to what's happening in the world. I circled certain ones because a lot of it was just kind of shit. Like London, England, obviously what was happening.
Jack the Ripper murder took place. Wow!
Yeah, so political tensions, European countries were starting to, form their alliances and rivalries and stuff.
Everyone was picking a side.
Yeah, which eventually led to World War I.
It took a while. Right? We're talking about 1830s here.
No, 1880s.
Right? Oh, this is 1880s?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about the 1880s here.
Yeah, so 30 years before.
They're laying the
25,
seeds.
Yeah, so
they're laying the seeds for their grandchildren to kill each other.
Their children.
You have kids when you're 15 back then.
Oh, yeah. All right, so your great
different. It's a different time.
In the late 19th century, you saw the emergence of modern press, in the newspapers.
Read all about it!
Yep, The coverage of Jack the Ripper was one of the first examples of the widespread media sensationalism.
Sensationalism.
I've been drinking.
What was going on in North America, you might ask?
Yeah,
right.
Good old United States.
Rapid industrialization and urbanization,
we started
known
building
as
cities.
The Gilded Age. Would you shut the fuck up?
No.
The Canadian Pacific Railway had been completed in 1885. I mean, all this stuff was going on, right? People are starting to get really good at making stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, but civil rights movements are starting to happen, right? African Americans and other minority groups are advocating for civil rights.
Because it was all the post-Reconstruction, after the Civil War and all that. In the late 19th century, they saw a lot of advancements in electricity with Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. I mean, they each had their own different systems of power, but in 1888, the world saw its first wind turbine used to generate electricity, and it was invented by Charles Brush. Is that why they call it like a brushless motor?
No.
Why not?
It's because... There's actually brushes in it.
Oh, that's cool. So the automobile industry started. Started. Carl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler, which is Daimler Chrysler and Mercedes-Benz, basically. They were the first, couple before Henry Ford.
Right. The automobile industry was in its infancy, right?
It was a baby.
It was just a baby. Getting ready to take over the world. The whole world ahead of itself. It's funny that cars were proposed as a pollution saver.
Your horses will stop shitting and farting everywhere.
Which I bet it does.
Well,
right?
It made it cleaner, but then it killed the air.
Yeah, but I think
they didn't care about the air then.
It's weird, right?
I feel like that's the thing is the horses made it so dirty.
Yeah, but how much do horses produce in methane too? Like cows are a big thing for methane. Yeah. Horses don't do it.
Well, yeah,
Sounds like you're making some methane over there.
No, that's coming out of my butt.
Yeah, can you stop?
No.
Can you stop farting?
I haven't farted in a while.
It smells so bad. It smells so bad when you do it. Anyways,
your wife made cheese.
That's a picture of what was going on in the world at that time. We didn't really cover the stuff in Asia, but that's okay. Or Africa.
India was cool. Africa was doing their thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. For 10 years,
everyone was colonizing Africa because it was the new cool area.
Nothing happened.
All right, moving on to the murders, also known as the
The what?
Canonical Five.
Wasn't it more than 5?
So the rumor is that the Canonical Five were the 5 that they linked directly to Jack the Ripper, but they said it could be upwards of 11.
So you think it was multiple people doing it?
That's some of it. I think there was a Jack the Ripper, and then as soon as
gotta wear the tinfoil hat. It's everyone, man. Everyone's doing the killing.
No, not everyone, but I think some people ran with it. They're like, oh, I could kill him and it'll brush it off as that. But we're going to start with the first victim, Mary Ann Nichols. She was killed on August 31st, 1888, in Bucks Row in Whitechapel.
So it sounds like such a nice name, Mary Ann Nichols.
So what's actually crazy is, she was married with kids.
Yeah, I know.
And then her, she started drinking and everything, and her husband kicked her out. They got back together and everything, but then he found out that she was prostituting to stay alive.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, get out again.
Yep.
And so, but she was the one that was in and out of a really bad workhouse. But yeah, the alcoholic is a common thing with all the victims. I mean, I feel like that was just everybody back then. But yeah, she was the first victim. They found her with her throat slashed and multiple deep incisions in her abdomen. The one, they said, as soon as they removed her dress, her intestines were bleh.
Yeah, it's really messed up. It's not like Jack the Ripper was I thought it was just oh, he would slash their throat and he would leave them and he would go somewhere else.
He would the throat slashing was a huge gash. Yeah, but he would get into the neck, but the vertebrae, damn near sawing off their head.
Right. So, but more than that too, like you said, it was always a mutilation of the bodies too.
Yeah.
Right. Nasty cutting open their guts and stuff. It's
well, that moved on to the next one.
Why?
Annie Chapman was September 8th, so a little over a week later. She was also married, but alcohol, lit in and out of lodge houses. But back then, you couldn't always resort to prostitution. Some of these women had really good skills like crocheting and stuff. And so she would crochet fake flowers and take them to the nice neighborhoods to sell to the fancy ladies with hats. Because they'd put them on their hats. So then
crochet flowers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
That keeps making noise. I don't like it. It's formed for your brain. But yeah, she was married. She had 3 kids, which I think ended up leading to her issues. Was she had 3 kids. One died young, and then another one was born and was disabled. Was paralyzed.
Oof.
And so I feel it's going to be difficult no matter what, losing a kid, and then you have another one, and then it's disabled. Even back then, not having the means to support him anyways. But yeah, she was killed on September 8th in a random little street. She actually ended up in someone's backyard. Yeah, but her throat was cut, her abdomen was cut open like crazy, but her uterus was removed.
Yeah.
So he's starting to take things.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's not like he's just like cutting their throat and running away. It's like he's doing stuff to the bodies after, which is
no matter
disturbing.
What, every victim had their throat cut. That was his calling card. That was what I think he did it first so they couldn't scream.
Sure.
And, but yeah, so the third victim was Elizabeth Stride. She was September 30th, 1888.
Like 3 weeks later.
Yeah, so he actually took some time off, must have been tired. But this is also the same night. It's called the double event. It was two killings in one night. Elizabeth Stride, she was married, got divorced, worked as a servant for a while, but then was also in and out of the lodge houses. She ended up getting murdered. She had her throat slashed like normal, but there was no other mutilations because they thought that he got interrupted during his attack.
That makes sense.
And so that's why they're also thinking the next person, Catherine Eddowes, got attacked and murdered because he didn't get to do what he wanted to do. So Catherine Eddowes, she was also an alcoholic. Sadly, was actually arrested that night for being drunk in public. And then the cops let her out when she sobered up. And then within hours, she was murdered.
So do you think like he did it to like a character trait?
It was always a prostitute.
I know, but so I get that, but I mean like the alcoholic part. Like, do you think it was that, or was just everyone an alcoholic?
I think everyone was an alcoholic back then.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you had nothing.
No, I get
your life was shit, but also
that,
I mean,
I wonder that, like, because serial killers always have that, like, they're going after a certain type of people.
They fixate on like a certain type,
and they want to do a certain thing. They want to take things.
So that's some of the theories they had, is that like he had like a traumatic experience with a woman, might have been a prostitute, and so he was like personal vendetta against.
Or if his mother was a drunk prostitute too.
That could have been too.
I mean, one of the things too that he used to do is he would take out their belongings and put it around them in a arranged way. Yeah,
I forgot which one it was, but he actually took her rings, and they never found them, and so they're like, that's what makes me think that one wasn't
him.
Because that's not something he was doing. Was taking things. He wasn't stealing.
Yeah,
he was just murdering. But the Catherine Eddowes, her throat was cut, her face was brutally attacked, so just cut up crazy. And then her kidney and then her uterus were partially removed.
Oh, he would arrange the bodies a certain way too. It was like they were always on their back with their eyes wide open and like their legs spread apart. Like that was the thing he would do.
So that was, I mean, they all do their weird things.
Yeah, it's always that like weird like ritualistic part of serial killers always kind of like weirdly interests me.
I think it was the second one. She actually was able to like get away for a while. I guess she like ripped off part of her dress and like put it between her legs to hold everything in.
Yeah.
And actually like stumbled past cops and everything and never got help or anything.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah.
It's hard to like say the cops are doing their best
when that happens. But yeah, the last known that they tied to was Mary Jane Kelly. She was an Irish immigrant. She actually came from a wealthy family. Her husband was in a mine and died, and so then she had to leave and move to London and had kids, and it was just horrible. That was November 9th, so another, little over a week later. But she was weird. But yeah, he really went to town on her.
I would say she was brutally mutilated.
Yeah,
right?
And then her organs were removed and then scattered around the room. Like I don't know. I mean, obviously
they said most of the cops that were on scene, even like the veteran cops, were like,
well, yeah,
shooken after.
Well, that's the thing
shaken.
is, like, he progresses to get worse and worse, which serial killers do, and that's why I think this one was him.
So do you think he kept doing it after this, or was it like...
I don't know.
This was my big shebang.
I've seen a lot of theories where he might have went to a different city to keep doing it.
Probably.
But, yeah. So, next up...
I believe it's time for...
Today is going to be 2 questions of trivia for Jacob from Nate.
Yes. And they're not hard. They're not hard.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure they're easy.
So, what profession was speculated that Jack the Ripper was?
Oh.
There's a handful of them, but I'll give you two choices. If you hit either of them, I'll give you a high five.
I think it was a tailor, right? Tailor or a butcher?
Butcher.
Butcher. Yeah.
But also Taylor was like a very low speculated one.
Low speculated.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, he could have been.
Oh, there was something about it too.
Yeah. But yeah, a butcher and a surgeon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
that's why they also thought like it could have been like the butcher would be like the perfect cover for him because you're covered in blood all the time.
I think that's a stretch to me.
Back then, it's not like you're just you're slaughtering live animals.
I think the surgeon one is funnier. You can't like go into the hospital and be like, yeah, I bet you like cutting up people, don't you, you sick fuck.
You Jack the Ripper?
Like you Jack, like I'm a surgeon named Jack. I'm a really good guy. I'm just trying to do my job.
Well, like
you know what I mean?
it's because he knew like how because of the way the organs were removed. It wasn't like they were just like yanked out and tossed everywhere. I mean, the last time they were removed and put everywhere, but they were like surgically removed.
This is a guy that's been in a body before.
At least 5 times. But all right. How many victims were killed outside?
Oh. I'm gonna say 3.
4.
Oh shit.
Because the last one was actually in a little
That was a
room.
close
But
second.
it's weird because
The last one
they
was
say
in
it was
room,
they
right?
they but yeah, it's a little room, but then they're like it was close to being outside, but it's a little room that she was living in. So yeah, okay, that's trivia. Yay!
Yay! Next.
I was trying to do a really hard one for you, but I was like, won't be that mean.
So the fun part in this whole shebang really is the theories and the suspects, right? Like, let's get into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is the dark part. This is, get your witch hat on. Let's get weird.
Yeah. So
Let's get on a moped and ride around together.
Yeah.
Not weird at all.
No. So one of the theories of all this is that he was part of the sexual sadism. He was a sexual sadist that derived pleasure from brutal killings and mutilations of his victims, and that like the post-mortem mutilations was like because he was super angry and crazy.
Or psychotic, right? He had psychosis.
Yeah.
But something obviously, if you're cutting people open and killing them and then doing stuff with their organs after, something's not right.
Yeah.
Mom and dad didn't do their job.
Normal people don't do that.
Even
Don't
God,
do it, guys.
Even
Don't
the
do it.
good Lord is like, oh my.
Yeah, God was a little upset with all
I
this.
still love you, but oh.
But yeah, from the trivia, his medical knowledge, so knowing where the precision of the cuts, knowing where the organs were, and that's why the top thing is that he was a surgeon or a butcher.
Right. I mean, and obviously he has a deep-seated hatred of women, yes. I say, or some kind of social revenge. Something was going on with him, especially the fact that all the victims were prostitutes. It suggests that the killer definitely had something, some kind of deep hatred for women, right? Or some kind of something like that, right? It's too much of a coincidence that all 5 were prostitutes.
Yeah.
Unless everyone was a prostitute, which I don't think that was necessarily the case.
There's a lot of prostitutes.
I mean, like, there's a lot of prostitutes in the area, but, like, you just go to the area,
Yeah. But yeah, another theory is that it was covered up because it was someone in a position of power that was managed to evade capture due to their social status. Like,
I think that's bullshit.
to an extent, that's one of the theories in my head, is that one of the guys, so the really shitty dudes that were in charge of like the workhouses and stuff, like they had, because they were upper people, like they were prominent people prominent people back then just had such a severe hatred of poor people.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And so that's one of mine, is that like it could have been one of them just like, you know what? Fuck these people. Like if I take out like, all right, these prostitutes, you know, just letting all these dudes, you know.
I think your natural just annoyance of people isn't enough. I think it's got to be like, my mom used to hit me or something when she was drunk, and then she would go out and be a prostitute, and now I'm fucked up and I want to kill prostitutes.
Could be.
And I want to cut them open and do weird shit. Like I don't think it's more like, oh, the poor people keep asking me for money. It's so annoying. I'm gonna cut open their guts. Like I think that's
I mean, you could get
that's
annoyed
a stretch,
by things,
man. I don't know.
But we're gonna talk about some of the suspects, the prominent suspects. Montague John Druitt was a barrister. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what a barrister is.
Can you Google that?
I'm on it.
All right.
I'm on it, Captain.
What's Rogan's dude?
Jamie,
look that shit up. But yeah, so he's a teacher.
It's a lawyer entitled to practice as an advocate.
Okay, so a
particularly
lawyer and a teacher. So had some education and everything, but he ended up committing suicide shortly after the last murder, leading a lot of people to be like, "Oh,
maybe that was him."
Yeah, maybe that was him. It was suspicious.
So I'll say this too before we get into all the different guys, right? One of the problems was this was such widespread in the media, like we said. The media was oversaturating the police with information.
Yeah.
Was part of the problem.
Well, that's the thing, is you had literally millions of people sending in
I know a guy
tips and stuff like, I saw a guy touching a prostitute.
Yeah, that's what
they do. That's what you pay money for, damn it.
Well, I mean, like,
But yeah.
like if you had to think through all your neighbors and like your friends, like there's probably someone you're like, they're creepy. You know what I mean?
This guy's really weird. I think I'm
then
going to call the cops on
and
him.
that's all they talk about in the news. Is like, I bet that's that guy. You know,
It could be him.
I bet it's Nate. Who's a Bengals fan, anyways? Jesus.
Cool people. All right. But also, the Montague John Druitt, he was believed to have a history of mental illness. That's a lot of the things, is everyone's like, oh, he was a little crazy, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the schizophrenia thing does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. The next one was Aaron Kosminski, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
He was Polish. But yeah, he was a barber, which was also one of the, you know, because barbers did more than just cut hair and everything back then.
What else did they do? They did more. What else do you do other than cut hair as a barber?
Fix things. Slice throats. Mutilate bodies.
Meat pies. God, that's good.
Shut up, you musical bitch.
I hate that musical, though. I hate most musicals. I really don't like them. Anyways.
You like more musicals than I do. But yeah, so he was considered...
I don't like any musicals, you motherfucker.
You motherfucker. I am a motherfucker, so are you.
No, Kosminski, like, this is the guy I think makes a lot of sense.
I think he makes more sense than Druitt.
He apparently was accused of threatening his sister, I believe, with a knife, which is not something you do if you're quite normal.
He really hated women, and it was known.
Right. Not only that, but there was some modern DNA analysis performed of a shawl that was apparently belonged to one of the victims, right? That suggested a potential link, like it was super clear, right?
Yeah, Catherine Eddowes. But yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, it's
super controversial.
150 years old now, 40 years old. So it's like...
Yeah, and it's like through your kid's DNA, right?
Yeah,
they had to use some of that.
But yeah, that was one of the more controversial ones. But yeah, it's clearly someone that could have been. Next one is Michael Ostrog, a Russian-born criminal and con artist.
Oh, the damn Russians.
Goddamn Russians. He was a known criminal at the time. But, I mean, that was basically it. Like, he was a criminal, and so they're like, yeah, it could be him.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, it's like, it's hard because it's like, did you do it? No. Well, I guess that's all we got.
Well, like, this
you
one,
know,
like, the...
evidence
two
back
ahead,
then's
yeah.
not what it is now.
Yeah, George Chapman, a Polish-born barber and serial prisoner. He was one of the ones that, was ended up getting convicted of murdering 3 women by poisoning. He was, extremely violent, and so they're like, oh, he could be it, but also Jack the Ripper didn't poison.
Yeah, I see. I have a really hard time.
Yeah, that's
linking.
like,
yeah.
These ones are getting more far-fetched. Like the next one, Dr. Thomas Neil Cream. He was a Canadian doctor
What's with the creepy giggle?
Because his last name's Cream.
Oh God.
And he was a convicted serial killer because he also poisoned his victims. But what's funny is, so like they're linking him to being a suspect, but he was in prison at the time. But they're like, oh, he could have bribed his way out of prison.
The fuck?
I'm gonna bribe my way out of prison to go murder people.
Dude, you know what? I think, it's not crazy though, because prisons back then sucked.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could have really walked out if you had some kind of,
I think it'd be fun to go to prison just to try to break out. If you didn't have to like stay there forever.
Calm down, prison break.
Be like, dude, what if I just give me 2 weeks, see if I can get out of there?
You want to stay in a prison for 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you to Diddy.
No, I don't want that.
With a bottle of baby oil.
Yeah, I don't really want that part.
You sure?
But if I could have like my own room and it was nice, like a TV or something, and then like in the prison yard, it's like if I could just be left alone.
So you want to be solitude with a TV?
Yeah, just like chain me up in a room and see if I can get out. Maybe that's the better way to put it.
Put you in, one of the padded cells.
Dude, you know what? It doesn't sound like that much fun either. I don't really want to do this anymore.
Oh, that's good. Damn it.
You miss?
Yeah.
No hand job today.
Damn it. And then the last one, Walter Sickert. He was an artist and was considered a suspect because he was fascinated with the murders, and his painting themes were like really violent. And so everyone was like, oh, he could be it too.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people fantasized about serial killers.
Yeah. This one's pretty cool, though. The Royal Conspiracy.
Oh, dude. Anytime we can shit on the Queen, I love it.
So this theory was involving Prince Albert Victor, the grandson of Queen Victoria. Suggests that he was involved in the murders or a cover-up. The theory posts that the killings were linked to protecting the reputation of the royal family. However, there's no substantial evidence. So basically, they're like, well, the prince was out there fucking prostitutes.
This is classic London and England people. Like there's a certain segment of England that just hates the royal monarchy.
Yeah. And what's really funny though is that the Prince Albert now is in trouble with all the Epstein shit.
Yeah, right. Stop calling the princes Albert.
The Alberts are bad. But yeah, so basically they're saying that he was out there banging prostitutes and would kill them to cover it up, and or someone would help him out by killing them.
Yeah, I really don't. I think that's people hate the monarchy and they're like trying to shit on the monarchy.
Well, like
you guys doing it.
The Freemason conspiracy. I laugh at this one too. So what's really funny is the Freemasons are a super religious organization.
It's a weird, yeah.
I thought about joining, and then I was like reading their shit, and I was like, this is a little weird. Like, I'm good.
You're gonna join the Freemasons?
I thought about it. It'd be cool to be a Freemason. Till I read what they were really about.
Wasn't like all the founding fathers were Freemasons?
Yeah, because America was founded by prudes.
Yeah.
Super Christian.
I'm pretty prude.
Yeah, you are. Pussy. But yeah, so basically they were saying that it was part of the Masonic ritual. Like it was their way to, get in the initiation and all this. And I don't know. I don't really think that was a good one.
No, it doesn't seem like especially if the murders were outside.
Yeah.
Like that means that
you think
there wasn't a crowd there.
Well, the thing is, like, if it's like a ritual for like them to initiate them. You think they'd bring them to like the Masonic temple and then make you do like some weird ritual.
Right. You'd probably candle wax.
Yeah.
And,
Weird robes, people chanting things.
Shaving my beard, shaving my back hair.
Yeah, here we go.
Onto someone,
Onto someone. All right. So another theory. Good guy. But another theory is Jill the Ripper. Ooh. Is that she was a midwife, so she knew like the innards of a woman and stuff. But it's like, yeah,
I don't think so.
No, it
sounds like bullshit.
It's too brutal for a woman. I don't see a woman doing that.
Okay, I don't think that.
Okay,
I think
women kill.
Women can be
kill.
worse than men.
But I don't see like the throat cutting.
Oh, dude, you haven't worked with women enough. Though.
No, I'm just saying with how deep and insane, like damn near slashing all the way to the vertebrae. Like,
yeah.
I'm not.
It's
saying
almost like they had to saw.
Yeah.
Right. Like how deep they got.
Yeah. Like that's something like that. Like level of strength and brutality is from a dude. That's not a lady. All right. Then moving on to just talking about the Canonical Five, where it's known as the Ripper stuff. But also they're saying that it could be as many as 11.
I think 5 is conservative. I think there's
more. And like I said, I think I have multiple theories, but I also think that he like left London after the last two or last one was like that was his going away present. He's like, have fun.
Maybe this was like a Dexter situation. Maybe they were all bad people and he was trying to save them, right? Or trying to save the world.
Don't ruin it for me. I haven't watched Dexter yet. That's next after Suits.
Well, it's like in the first episode there, Sweet Pea.
What, that he kills? I know he kills people.
He kills only
bad guys.
Only serial killers.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I thought it was just bad guys.
It's the only way you can make a TV show back then about a serial killer is by making it about a serial killer that only kills serial killers. Like that's the only redeeming. It's actually the first season or two are wonderful.
I heard the ending kind of sucks.
The ending kind of sucks. The first 2 seasons,
but I am excited to watch it. But I have to finish Suits first.
Seriously, first 2 seasons.
And then I want to watch Breaking Bad because I've never seen that.
Okay, what?
Yeah,
You've never seen Breaking Bad? I'm gonna beat you with a shovel. Are you serious?
You've never
seen Breaking Bad?
Why do you want to beat people with shovels tonight,
dude? Yeah, it's a Colin. Well, I shouldn't say that. I did say that, but it was out of love.
It's out of love, damn it.
Sometimes the dad voice has to come out.
The shovel loves you.
How do you not? You've never watched Breaking Bad?
No.
Dude,
but I want to watch Better Call Saul, so I want to watch Breaking Bad first.
It's literally like, dude, you never had pizza? Pizza's fucking awesome.
I don't like pizza.
Oh, what do you like? Burgers?
I like
you
burgers.
Fat fuck. Yeah, imagine you've never had a burger.
Pizza's worse, you fat fuck.
It is. I'm trying to make a point.
I'm lactose intolerant. Why would I intentionally eat so much cheese?
Get the fucking shovel out.
Shovels in the garage, bitch. Good luck.
Dude, seriously, the best show on TV ever. Seriously. Hands down. And don't like quit on the first episode. Like watch 2 or 3 and you will be into it.
How many seasons
it doesn't taper down at all to it. It's great the whole way through.
All right. So modern forensic theories, obviously the DNA is what that was. And then the psychological profiling, the FBI criminal profilers, the criminal minds people. Basically, they're saying that it may have been a local lower class man with a history of mental illness, because, gotta have that. And basically compared to modern day serial killers in terms of behavior patterns and motivations.
Just a dude who's frustrated and sick.
Like, imagine going to school to become a behavior analyst. Like, you go to take all your psych class, then you go and you're like, I'm gonna figure out why this killer does this.
Dude, Jodie Foster makes it look so cool.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh man, that's such a good movie.
It's okay. I hate you. I hate that.
You don't like that?
No.
What's wrong with that?
That movie, I hated that when he did that.
Dude, it's so chilly.
Yeah,
you're like, ooh,
and then,
daddy.
What's funny is, so Ice Nine Kills does all the horror theme music, and they have a song, Meet and Greet, and it's Silence of the Lambs. And he does that, and I'm like, every time that happens, I'm like, but then there's double bass in the background, so I'm like, okay, it makes me happy.
I can dig it.
But yeah, so that's our episode on Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, it is.
What's your theory on him? Who do you think he was? Let's do our criminal profiling on him.
I think he was the Kosminski guy.
You think I think he is the best fit.
He hates women. He's violent. He was in a mental hospital for a long time. He's a lower class dude.
And honestly, yeah, like even with the DNA evidence.
The DNA evidence, obviously,
Yeah.
but the fact that he threatened his sister or someone with a knife, like,
No, just
not
no,
good.
like people knowing that he hates women.
And he had a schizophrenia. Jesus.
Sorry.
I think it's that guy. What do you think? Anyways, thanks so much for listening, guys.
It was me. I'm a time traveler.
No, it's not. You could never do that.
No, I couldn't.
You're too nice of a guy.
They'd stab me. I would be the one murdered.
You'd have a knife and you'd be like, do you mind? And they'd be like, no, please don't. And he'd be like, okay, oh, sorry.
Sorry. Maybe I should have been Canadian.
Dude, you would fit like a glove in Canada. Because I think you got that Frenchness to you. We talked about that one episode. You're a little French, aren't you?
My family is French.
You fucking bitch.
French and Scottish, bitch. So I'm very afraid of you. At the same time, I will burn your fucking house down.
So, yeah. Are you more Scottish or more French?
I don't know. I really like. That's what sucks. Is I really want to do like one of the ancestry things, but at the same time, I really don't want. Like,
yeah, I thought about that too. I don't know if I necessarily want to put that out there.
Yeah, that's what really sucks. Is like all the shit happening with it. Because I obviously follow a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
I know you do.
And so it's like, I don't know. Like, Becca did it. Like, I mean, what's it going to matter? Are they really going to, like, do anything with our DNA?
I mean, it's like, it's one of those things, like, I don't think so, but you never know. And it's like...
Well, that would be my luck, is that next thing they'd be like, Nate, we're arresting you for the murder of this person. How? You had spit there. And it's like, no!
Or it's like, we've also reproduced you with 1,400 different women. You have 700 kids now.
It sucks for them. That thing's crazy upstairs. The world couldn't handle that.
Hey, we love Eleanor.
I love Eleanor, but
she was actually snuggling with me.
She likes you now.
Yeah, it was cool.
She's not afraid of you anymore.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, for now. Don't ruin it.
Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We're going to start having some more guests on. I don't know what we're doing next, but we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to keep things going. We, like he said earlier, we're going to start doing
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
We're going to sell some freaking T-shirts. Buy a T-shirt if you can.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
We've done this for 2 years now. We haven't made $1 on it.
It hasn't been 2 years yet.
Hasn't been 2 years?
No, just over a year.
It feels like 2 years.
It feels like forever when we're together.
Either way, it's a year of work, no money. Please buy a T-shirt.
Yeah, we bought equipment, guys. Shit ain't cheap.
We definitely spent money. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yep, thanks for listening.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Fuck yeah.